Namaskar, welcome to Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Today we are talking about harmony today. What sustains us is a sense of harmony with us as well as with our surrounding. Harmony is also related to a sense of peace and security, but do we have harmony in our world? What can be done? We felt who can help us more than someone who is spearheading successively many events dedicated to interfaith, that dialogue of increasing understanding about each other. And also recently United Nations also observed a week dedicated to harmony. So I take this opportunity first to welcome Reverend Dr. T.K. Nagasaki ji, who is joining us via Zoom. And namaste. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm also delighted with the presence of Guru Dilip ji in our studio. Namaste. Swagat hai aapka. So Dilip ji, with your permission, I would begin by asking first question to Reverend Dr. T.K., whose smile I always love. And that also tells me that there is a sense of clarity and harmony within that he carries with himself. So, if we open up with general understanding about, some people are always visibly they look puzzled, or they are prone to become quickly angry. In your understanding, what is it that helps you sustain harmony? And in general, what are the tips that you can extend?
Oh, interesting questions. I think each one has a different ways because some people have a very short temper, and some are probably more patient. But at least we need to be aware or mindful of what we can do, what we are doing. So if you know, when you get angry, you are get angry, and then by the moment then you just start seeing yourself not, angry. Then somehow you can stop the anger. But somehow, some people instantly, react to it. Then they need a little more training in a way, how you see yourself. Is this the time you get angry? Are you, so, and then when you sit with people, be mindful what other people are doing it and thinking it even. And so in a way, for me, to be able to sort of, know what you're doing is the first thing. And then also the breathe, probably. For maybe first thing that you can do is a breathe before you get angry. Maybe if you, so that's just, instead of a shallow breathe, but just a breathe, like a big breathe. Then get angry. Maybe.
Beautiful.
Maybe that by the time that you have that moment, then you may not instantly react. So, but I think that's a very important technique too. Actually, that's like a breath. Basically, we all breathe. So why not to use the breath to be a way that we are, we can control ourselves too.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let me come back to you and seek some input from Guru Dilip ji. And breath, I think, is the central unifying force which each one of us is experiencing and is respecting, but awareness differs from person to person. And I will ask you a different question. That is, do you see people moving towards harmony or away from harmony?
I felt both ways. In certain areas, people are coming towards harmony in different levels, and certain areas they are getting worse than earlier, especially some religious groups or political groups. But new generation, they understand more about the interfaith harmony and all that stuff, but they don't know the teachings. So that part we had to work a lot. That's the thing I felt.
So, Reverend Nakagaki ji, when
Yes.
you interact with people, you also observe that some people are good as long as they are not interacting with others. They are happy in themselves, but when it's a matter of participating in some team or group activity, they bring their own, if I use the term, complexes to the group, and if they are not treated in certain way, they get upset. So what is the way? One, of course, you mentioned being aware is important. What is the next step for someone to learn to be in harmony while he is among others?
Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe the next step is very simply, the like a words of hello, greeting. Is actually, whether you believe or not, but the greeting makes a big difference. Even you don't know who they are, at least when you start something, you just say each other hello, or nice meeting you, where you from, but instead of just ignoring them what they're doing, but rather they start from the just simple words of hello is very, very important. And actually, I did this one before somehow, because sometimes, we go to the different place. I never know anybody. Then how can we create the harmony together? Then all I have to do is actually, introduce myself. Hello, how are you? And, with a smile, probably. And so we just start talking. Then even though that was a stranger before, but then now by bringing just a simple greeting can have a little conversation, then create a different atmosphere, and then that's also very, very important. Because sometimes we say, oh, because he or she didn't say hello, I don't want to say anything. Yet you can put an icebreaker, so when you go to the ice break, then you just say hello, and then that's the beginning of the creating the peace and harmony.
Yeah, actually, beginning is very good, but then as we move forward, and Guru Dilip ji, there are people who know already each other, and they know that there are certain ways of perception which are a part of this person, that person. So many times, even before listening to a response from the other person, you already assume that he will or she will think about this issue like this, and this issue like this, and that is happening so much in our world today. And as we are talking about harmony today, how to address this? I'll rephrase. The identity that you have, there are multiple identities that each human being is carrying. You are a man, that is one identity. You are an Indian or American, that's one identity. Then you belong to this or that religion, that identity also plays an important role. And so let us look at the identity which is religious identity. Now, then you become suddenly defensive or offensive because you feel that what is being said, I need to represent all these people who are a part of me. And so how to sort of find a way whereby people mingle, stay in harmony without sort of putting others down?
Yeah, usually we create the interfaith dialogue. So we'll start with the prayers from different groups, like 2-3 minutes prayers. So they just come and do the prayer, and everybody will do it. And somebody will talk about the value of the spirituality, the value about humanity, human rights, and it will take a long way. So first month we'll do this, and next month we'll go little more, and we'll take a subject to talk about it, and we'll have the discussion. That's the time they have the clash and all the stuff. So when they raise their voice, when the moderator will enter and calm them down, then go to the next person, go around it. And you see, the first day they are so stiff, they are a little scared, they don't know what will happen, they have fear. And next time they are a little mellowed down, and once in a while we'll invite them for lunch or dinner, and they discuss. Then they become friends. It's a slow process. And you see the change within 1 year. It's totally different.
So that's very nice to hear that this is happening. But Reverend Dr. TK, what I assume, and again I haven't participated in most of the interfaith events that much as Guru Dilip ji and you have participated, but I kind of think that those who are going there, they already have a sense of openness. They are already willing. So the problem is more with people who are not prepared, who are not actually there to formally participate in an interfaith sort of a dialogue, but because of their business situation or some social setting, they end up being in the same room and they have their baggage or a set of perception that they carry about the other person. What would be your advice how to sort of navigate through that potential conflict zone?
Oh, okay, interesting. Because I never thought that way much anyway. Meaning, like, I'm emphasizing the enjoy what we do, basically. And if people gather, and then the important part for me is actually whether instead of some people don't want to join, then maybe I don't want to push them either. So people who are interested in joining, then at least we have time together. So you just appreciate each other, and also even we can learn each other, and so those processes is very important. So that circle become bigger and bigger, instead of just pushing out somebody else. But I just feel like at least we enjoy it, and if they wanted to come, of course people are welcome always. And so for me the important part is. Instead of you have to convince them to come in, but rather we just ourselves enjoy, and then we just see the value what we are doing, and then we just expand it. Sometimes we just say hello, are you interested in coming in, just a brief, and if they say no, okay, maybe next time, maybe if you change your mind, you can join us too. So it's like each one has a different conditions. So even like each flower is a different time to bloom. So sometimes it bloom immediately, they're already interested in engaging all those things, but some people are not, which is okay. I mean, because it's not everybody has to do, but yet in one way we are living together and sharing this earth. So one thing as we do, we realize we're not living alone, and that's the human being, right? So we need to really start understand each other. There's nobody who don't have a parents or friends or anybody. So there's somebody who can talk to.
Absolutely.
So in a way, the friendship is the way that we wanted to build up too. So instead of just pushing one revision, the other revision, but rather what I can learn from the other people, I mean, that attitude probably is more important. This is my revision, so I wanted to bring it in my revision. This is a right one, everything is wrong or something. that's not I don't, for me,
So,
I enjoy
absolutely.
more learning from each other.
I hear you, and I think that brings beauty to the world. But somehow we don't have everyone thinking like you, and
Right,
rather than
okay.
dwelling on the unifying space, people pay more attention to the differences. And Guru Dilip ji, it happens when there is some news headline where one group has done something to the other group, or there is a sense of tug of war, either to show who is superior to other or who has been victimized, etc. So now these are real issues, and you as a part of one community or one religion are bound to psychologically feel that you owe it to them, and there is a sense of frustration and fear together, sometimes rightfully, sometimes wrongfully. But what we are talking about, harmony today, requires that we address this fear in a way which doesn't hurt anybody. Is there any formula that you have found so far in all your journey of many decades?
Yeah, so many incidents I face. Even sometimes religious parades I go, other religious groups parade. And when they see me in orange dress or red dress, they get angry and they start pushing me. So I had to call the security guards around me because we don't want to fight and make sure they will face the situation. That tolerance, we know they have the hatred towards me, but I don't want to hate them. We don't want to reject them, but I want them to walk with me, next to me, with the protection. So after a few times they'll understand I am not a carnivorous. So they will start understanding. So many times it happened. So see that they had a bad experience in their life, or they heard or they studied something wrong about other religious groups or the teachings. Actually that's not true. They don't know the reality, We all came from different countries or a culture. We know what we learn. That's why TK is saying we are ready to learn about other cultures and the religious teachings. So when we bring the interfaith, we have to be patient and accommodative to learn or tolerate with other situations. That's why we bring people. Yeah.
So I think what you said out of your own personal experience, it is eye-opening. It also demonstrates a sense of commitment and courage also, because if you are not Guru Dilip Ji, or if you are not committed that much to the cause of harmony or increasing understanding among different faiths, then if you are not welcome, then as one is reminded of Tulsidas Ji's couplet that आव नहीं आदर नहीं नैनन नहीं स्नेह तुलसी तहाँ न जाइए चाहे कंचन बरसे मेह. So very quick translation, what he says is, if you are not respected and if people don't look up to you with affection, then don't go there, even if you have the gold rain happening at that spot. So that is philosophy from one side. But what you just described reminded me of Mahatma Gandhi also. I mean, you hold on to your ground and you do something. So, Reverend TK, in your presence, I am requesting Guru Dilip Ji to play that conch shell, which has become his another sign of his identity. Especially he mentioned a religious parade or whatever parade. So, and sometimes listening to these sounds also helps us be more focused and be more.
For me, like this bell.
Let us hear your bell first. Yes. Play it again. Play it again.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So as you listen to that bell, there is some frequency gradually receding and sort of reaching towards one point. The same thing I think we experience while we listen to this shank. Beautiful, beautiful. So TK, I was thinking if someone is only watching on the screen, they'll feel that this is just a picture. But since he was winking now and then, so you could make out that this sound has the live person behind it. Now moving towards the concluding part of our conversation with these focus from your bell sound as well as this conch shell sound. We generally hear that if you train your mind to think about the beautiful side of life or that which is common, it is a formula for harmony. But how to practice it and anything else that you feel you can share as tip for someone watching us to how to bring harmony in life.
Actually, I normally think myself is not even perfect either. So I do have little sometimes get angry and all those things. So it's like ordinary people. So meaning I mean, in my opinion, of course, there is no 100% evil person or 100%, the good person either. So it's like a mixture of everything. So sometimes you're good, sometimes, we are not in good conditions, then you get angry so easily and so forth. And so in a way, recognition of that we are all common people or ordinary people, maybe ordinary people. So we do sometimes get angry, we do sometimes do the good thing or many times maybe, I don't know. So each one have a different way to live. So which means I'm not always perfect either. I'm not sages always, and then the others are not necessarily fool. They're not necessarily stupid either. So which means, so maybe we can learn from them, or they can learn from them, or they can also listen to other people that way. So in a way, just knowing that whoever we're dealing with, people, not just what do you call it? The people we just talk about breath. So we are all those breathing people, living people, or living person, or living creatures, even beings. And so knowing that, and then the living beings has all the difficulty and problems, we share all those problems, and so we just the kind of enjoy the kind of even weakness could be the enjoying part, instead of something you hide. But then it's all those things here with us. It's not just everything is perfectly works every day, every time, but rather we have all those things. So therefore we need to be listen each other, right? Or we learn each other, because we're not really perfect. But then also, not sages means sometimes we make a big mistake too, So knowing that, then you should be able to ready to listen others. If you're perfect, then maybe you don't have to listen to anybody. Probably, I mean, that's the way that people are. Some people.
So I think what I admire about you is your simplicity, as well as you are so unassuming, and there is a sense of call that humility, or being humble, and I think that helps in sustaining harmony, because you are not sitting on a high pedestal. Now the same question with some addition. You don't want to sacrifice certain values, and you also want to have harmony, which means you don't want to leave your stand, but you don't want to fight also. Is that possible?
It is possible. By birth we all are divine and chosen being on this body. From the first inhalation to the last exhalation, so short period to celebrate our existence. So our job is to learn purpose of our life. We are here to care about others, thinking about all the well-being about everyone, even animals, plants. That's the way our culture is. So see, when issues are coming, you have to understand other party are not matured enough to understand things. When we think that way, then there is a different dimension than just jump into the conclusion and fight. We have to think about the third person looking towards the problem and see what happened, why that person is doing like this. There is a different dimension here. So that's the way I look at it. Whenever get the trouble, I just look at that, then I understand. That's their ignorance. Forgive. You don't have to forget. You learn from the past experience. So you take that lessons and apply to your next issues.
Beautiful. So harmony today on this theme, as we thank Guru Dilip ji. I also want to sincerely thank Reverend Dr. T.K. Gaki ji for joining us and sharing valuable lessons of life. I just want to repeat, being aware is important, and as we concluded, being forgiving is equally important, and not working under the spell of one's own ego and being open to appreciate others, as TKG said, would also help us in sustaining harmony today, not just today, but for all the times to come. So once again, thanking both of them, and we are glad that the excuse of United Nations Harmony Week observed recently brought them with us today. We'll have more conversations where we learn how to be in harmony with ourselves as well as with our surrounding. With lots and lots of good wishes, this is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.